Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Sybil, and welcome back to our boys, Chris, Paul, and Huggy Lowdown. How are you?
What's up?
What is that? What is that? For those who can't see us, what is that?
Pointing at all the viewers, letting them know, and all the listeners out there, just saying what's up and welcome to It's Sybil.
And welcome to Coy. It's good to see you as well. Did you all have a good week? What's going on? What's the word? Chris, how's your week?
My week's good. It's kind of laid back. We're just kind of packing up stuff around here, getting my daughter out the door this week.
Yeah.
She's going away to school.
How's that feel?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and hold it together.
Oh, I know you will try.
I'm gonna be a man.
You're gonna be a man that cries.
But more so, you're a dad.
Yeah, but he's gonna cry like a bitch. I know him. He's gonna cry.
It doesn't have to be that word, Huggy. He could just cry. He doesn't have to cry like a B word.
I'm sorry.
Does he?
But that bitch gonna cry like a man.
I'm gonna write a children's book called Bitch Daddy.
Forget the girl, Dad. It's me, Dad. Okay. All right. Hey, what you chugging there, Slugger?
H2O.
Sure. Okay.
We can see it this time.
Yeah.
He's chugging like Donald Trump.
Oh.
He usually has a cup. We can't see his side
on all cylinders today.
Okay. Shots fired early. Shots fired.
And Huggy, how's your week been?
Fine, Sybil. Just relaxing.
Did you guys have a good? It was North Carolina where you were. You couldn't join us last week.
Right.
Yes.
Where were we, Chris?
Greensboro.
We love Greensboro.
Greensboro was a great time. Thank you to everybody.
Was it? Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear it. And where are you guys headed?
We're headed. Where are we headed?
Chicago.
Oh, you going to Riddles?
Are we going to Chicago? Or are we going to Schaumburg?
We're going to Chicago.
We're going to Chicago.
Yeah.
We're going to be at Damon Williams Comedy Club, Riddles, on the 17th and 18th. Get your tickets at DamonWilliamsComedy.com.
There you go.
Bring me some pizza, damn it.
How slick is Damon? The website is his name, so we got to promote his name every time we promote our show.
That's right.
DamonWilliamsComedy.com. Very clever.
Bad boy. He's
well played, Damon. Well played.
Well played, Damon.
And Coy, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We are in the middle of, I guess, what's remnants of Ida, and some of the tropical storm is passing over Atlanta right now, which is interesting outside.
This might not. Is this Ida already with you guys? Because it was a pretty slow path through like Mississippi and then all that kind of stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there's so much rain in Atlanta. Brothers are slipping off their crates.
Oh, now it's become a national emergency. The crate challenge has become a national emergency.
Right.
I saw a crate challenge gender reveal, and I'm like,
I saw it too.
Daddy.
The brother fell on the ground and blue smoke just came up and shit.
Yes.
Everybody was running and shit. It's a boy. This motherfucker was
And he's like, it's my butt. It's my broken my butt.
He's like, oh boy.
Right. Good gracious.
That's crazy. That first of all, the challenge is crazy, and then combining it with two things that are not actually recommended anymore because of the violence that can happen with either one of them, with smoke and all that kind of stuff.
It's banned on TikTok. Now.
Yeah,
there's been some serious injuries too.
Yeah,
a woman
they're doing great challenges. I seen an older gentleman do it. He fell and he just laid there. So he might be still fucking there. It was just embedded in the ground. Older folk, their bones don't tend to heal like when they were.
Well, trust and believe. I understand that. All right, let's talk about what's going on. And as Coy mentioned, with the weather. And of course, if you are not in New Orleans, if you're not anywhere in Louisiana, you know someone who was there as Ida made landfall on Sunday afternoon, just about noon Central Time. And just incredible devastation in her wake with wind as well as rain. She was came on as a category 4 which, as you know, is over 150 miles an hour or higher. And this was just, and it just, I don't know if you guys watched the news the way I did, but I was just like, a lot of folks in Louisiana, like, well, we've been through Katrina and we survived, so we just gonna try to ride it out. And a lot of people tried to ride it out with no power now, but they're in their homes. And some.
I watched early coverage with Al Roker's old ass out there getting blown away.
Bring up, yes.
I just saw some like, here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
And then he got offended when people were telling him to go inside.
You're saying, Al, you're 70 years old.
Yeah, he said, keep up though, Sybil.
He said, Al, kick your, and I was like, Al, really?
You ain't see the center block that was on his feet.
Right. He said, I volunteered to come out here.
Yeah.
and so I think
he ain't the old Al Roker. Al Roker can stand that hurricane.
Right. But didn't it sound like somebody had suggested that Al not take on this assignment? And so he was really efforting to show that he's still got it. He's the Al of old.
He's still trying to redeem himself from shitting his pants at the White House a couple of years ago.
Chris, quite honestly, I think everybody has forgotten that except you.
Right, he shit his pants. I
forgot, man.
And if he shit his ass in the Obama White House, he damn sure shit his ass out there at the hurricane yesterday.
And
that's
really
why he didn't want to come inside. Yeah.
The rain will wash this away.
When did that become a black weather person's job anyway? It's not just Al Roker. There's black weathermen around the country to get put outside in the worst conditions. Right. How did we get that job?
I think around Katrina. I think around Katrina. It might have been earlier, but that for me, Chris,
that was not our job, bro.
Yeah.
That's not our sport. We didn't sign up for that shit.
Right.
But
I'm gonna be where? I'm gonna be reporting where? Shit.
How fast it went? Oh no.
Not me, Jack.
No player.
Blow my edges away.
So Louisiana residents now facing the immense recovery efforts after Ida has devastated southeast Louisiana coast. The hurricane left scores of coastal residents trapped by floodwaters. Did you see that people like in there at the top of their house, some in their roofs, some were in their attics and yelling for people to come and help them?
Yes. Oh my goodness, the flooding. And I don't think a lot of people understand, if you've never been through a hurricane or seen it up close and personal, the flooding is the next step outside of the high winds and debris flying and roofs getting peeled off. You have just masses of water rushing in and it just doesn't stop.
Well, and that's a lot what people experienced when the levees broke in New Orleans. And so, but people have forgotten it. And yesterday, the 16th anniversary of Katrina was the day that Ida came to town. And there were people that they were interviewing who were there when New Orleans was left devastated 16 years ago. And they had moved away a short distance away. But they said, I learned my lesson, but apparently not, because they were in the line of Ida. And so it was just very interesting. And as you say, a lot of people are just unaccustomed to that, Coy, in terms of what you see and how you experience all of this.
The video we've been seeing of people on their roofs and people floating in the water and everything, that has created a debate on social media, because you've got like white folks all screaming and yelling online like they told you to evacuate. They told you to get out of there. And the other side of it is they don't seem to understand people don't have the money to evacuate.
That's the other thing.
You can't just pack up and leave. I saw one quote from a person saying, I have a choice either to evacuate or pay my rent. I can't do both.
Right.
People aren't staying because they want to be in a hurricane or they think they can survive it and they're cocky. No, they can't. They have no place to go or no money to leave.
Right. Right. Or they not only not money to leave, they didn't have money to fill their gas tanks because of the long lines there, as well as the lines to get gas and the lines to get out of town.
Right.
I do want to share a little bit of good news. Last week, we were promoting a young woman, the disappearance of a young woman, asking if you had seen her young diamond from North Carolina A&T. And the good news is her family has reported the diamond has been found, and that she has been reunited with her family. So that is what is really
wonderful
news.
news.
We need to hear some good news.
We do.
That's great news.
It really is. And in this day and age, Huggy, so let's talk about what's really going on. Have you all been watching the investigation into the shooting by the Capitol police officer of Ashley Babbitt? And remember, he has been cleared of charges and all of this. This happened last week. And also, they were keeping his identity a secret. Well, he's a secret no more. He has come out and he has had the interviews and all of this, and he is being roundly hunted by a lot of Trump supporters and those who were there on January 6th. This Black Capitol police officer who shot and killed Ashley Babbitt as she was trying to work her way into, as Huggy would like to say, the transom, the window over the Speaker of the House's office, as she was there, and the cop shot her and she died. This military veteran who was there as a part of the insurrectionists.
Right.
And
did he come forward because they were close to outing him?
I think that's what it was, Chris. I believe that's one of the stories that I heard, that he did come forward and did this. But now all gloves are off. There's no way that they can't find him or his family. And so I'm wondering from you guys, what do you think for you all and those that are listening? Was this a good idea?
I don't know. I don't know if it was a good idea, but I'm saying, if they were going to catch up to him anyway, I guess he's trying to control his own story and control his own narrative. And who knows? I'm like, maybe this guy's got a book he wants to put out or something. Mm-hmm. Like, I couldn't understand the reason why, because you have to know it's going to be dangerous. Yeah, it's going to be dangerous. We're talking about the Blue Lives Matter crowd, right? Is now hunting down a police officer.
Yeah.
Who did their job, right?
Who did their job.
And before January 6th, they were all very pro-police, as you said, Blue Lives Matter. Right. And then when they were on the other side of the law,
they selectively matter.
Yeah.
And they're also the crowd. They're also the same crowd that always cries, comply.
Exactly.
They told her, don't bring your ass through this window. You don't want what's on the other side of this window.
That's right.
And she came.
And she came, and they came for her. He came for her.
She wanted to smoke.
What is so hard to understand? That protecting the Speaker of the House is a very big deal.
Yeah.
It's a very big deal.
And such a big deal that when that other clown sat at her desk with his feet up and rifling through all of her papers and going through her computer and everything, they really got their butts handed to them as a result of that, especially that one guy. But do you think that all of this, Huggy and Coy, this would have made a difference if the policeman had been white?
Yes. They wouldn't have
it would have been a whole different story.
It would have been all these investigations, all this questioning into why he did his job and how he did his job. He would have gotten administrative leave. They would have looked at the incident. After we've reviewed the incident, we have found that this officer did everything in terms of protocol when it comes down to protecting the White House and the Speaker of the House.
Everything
no further questions.
Everything hits different with people of color.
Mm-hmm. I think if it was a white cop, they'd still be hunting him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they killed a white cop that day.
Yeah.
They killed a white police officer.
And the other things that they did to them. I mean, in terms of the spraying of the animal urine and all of that other kind of stuff in their faces. And as you said, Chris, they didn't traumatized. They had no qualms about doing all of that against whether they were black or white. Right. They were just cops. And
this is about making Ashley Babbitt some kind of martyr for their cause.
Yeah.
Right. So Huggy, do you think it would have made a difference for you?
What do you say?
Are you with Chris? Are you with Coy in terms of it would have been different their response to the cop if he had been black or white?
I'm leaning towards they want somebody. They want blood.
They want somebody.
They want blood. They want somebody to answer to her death.
I think back to those days. Remember those days not too long ago when a number of the police officers were going through the House and going to the offices of the congressmen and women and trying to talk to them. And they would not even talk to them. They wouldn't open their doors. They would not meet with them. And in some cases, one white cop tried to extend his hand to a white congressman and he wouldn't even take it.
Right.
And now I said that they would still want his head if it was a white cop who shot Ashley Babbitt. But we all know that the fact that the officer is black, that just puts gasoline on it.
Yeah.
So now you not only have the hatred of him because he killed Ashley Babbitt, but you also have the hatred of him just based on his skin color. So now,
everything is heightened.
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. Everything is exponentially heightened, right? Based upon this. The next thing I want to know about what's really going on, I found this very interesting, and we can't even get people to agree to wear masks in this country. They say, this is a free country. Well, here's a country that's not so free, but they're trying to make a difference with their young people. China is cracking down on video game addiction by young people. And so they have laid out the rules: no game playing during the week at all. This is like being at your mom and daddy's house, right? No video game playing during the week at all. 1 hour a day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a collective of 3 hours. And also you get an hour on a holiday. What do you think?
My numbers on Call of Duty finna go high. Scores are finna raise through the roof.
How would they enforce that though, Sybil?
Well, Huggy, I think that they think that they are technologically astute enough and advanced enough that they'll probably cut off your power, cut off in your home.
There's going to be a lot of masturbating in China. They got nothing else to play with.
That's called Call of Booty.
Right. They're going to ban that.
Right.
You can't touch any joystick.
Remember back in the day when they only allowed you to have so many children, when they were trying to keep the population down, and so this is just another level of and especially in terms of the popularity and as they're calling it, video game addiction.
What you saying? They'd have locked Nick Cannon ass up in China, Sybil.
and also a number of NFL and NBA players.
Absolutely.
Coy, you said your numbers are about to go up because of the competition will be eliminated in China.
Yep, numbers going to be sky high. Now I can play all night long and not have to worry about.
Coy, you play Call of Duty?
I used to play it a lot. I used to have a video game addiction, so I might need to move over there to make sure it doesn't come back.
Of extremes. You know, everything is taken to the 10th power with you. So when you say you have an addiction, I mean, look at the plants. When you say you had an addiction, what does that look like?
I would go to my friend's house and we would play. We would start like at 6 in the evening, and I would be there till the next day, like 10 in the morning.
What about the video games?
Yes.
That's a Stephen Hill moment.
No. We were literally playing. No.
Oh, you crazy boys.
No.
I see you, Coy. Okay.
No, really. One time, my sister and I went to a birthday party, and we're supposed to be celebrating with our friends that are there, and we sat there and beat 2.5 video games. The only reason why we didn't beat the third one because our mom came and picked us up.
So let me ask you this.
What was the video game? What was the video game of choice?
First of all,
Contra.
what was it?
It was Contra.
I don't know.
It was an old school game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say you go to a friend's house at 10 and you walk out at 6 o'clock in the morning, how old were you when this was happening? Were you an adult?
I was an adult.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering, like, Mom, I'm going to sleep over at so-and-so's house. And, you go over to the house and then
Nah, they wouldn't let me do that. So what I would do while I was in school was my game of choice at the time was The Sims. So I would play until like an hour before I had to get up and go to school. It was terrible.
Should have go to his house and play with his Wii.
her arm is thrown out of socket. For the Wii, yes.
That was terrible.
How did you perform in school during this addiction?
I got mostly A's.
Okay.
Mostly A's and a B. I was on honor roll. I didn't have any problems.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess Jackson State is very proud of that.
Yes. Yes.
Let me ask you this, Chris. A dad of young people, would you be opposed to putting that kind of limit, or have you put a similar limit on the game playing at your house?
No, they were pretty cool with it. My oldest son, when he was still living here, he was going crazy with Call of Duty. He was playing well into the early morning, but he was a grown-ass 25-year-old man at the time.
Yeah, it's a little it really doesn't go anywhere when he's 25, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know they have the headsets on and they're talking to each other. Yeah. And he's right. His room is right above my office, so it's like 4 a.m. I hear, "Sit down, bitch! Sit down!"
And you're on the radio going, and another.
Good morning, minute. We about to cuss the morning, motherfucker.
Whoa.
I go upstairs and my son be like, "Dad, they're calling me the N-word." I said, "Don't kill those niggas."
Nigga, be quiet.
It's awful. They do. It's little kids on there just cursing away.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me ask you. So, in terms of the concern about video game addiction, and Coy, you said that you were addicted. Let's talk about some addictions. Video gaming was one of your addictions. Do you have others?
No, thank God.
This shit just turned into Dr. Phil real quick.
Is there something? I got into more constructive things.
Well, Coy,
that's what I'm thinking, Coy, because you are a woman of extremes. You are. So your plants could be considered an addiction because they are growing out of your head.
Coy, you at one point were mixing heroin and bubblegum, were you not?
And putting in those straws.
You on that hubba
Pop
bubba. Hubba bubba.
Yeah.
Chasing up coats. That's terrible. I never heard of that. Wow.
So Hug, you are a man of extremes too. What about you and addictions? And I don't mean drugs. I'm just saying,
you mean alcohol, Sybil.
No.
I know what the hell you mean, Sybil. You mean alcohol. No.
I wasn't gonna
pour me a little homie.
Coy, you want some of this Simmons juice?
Yeah. Pour me a little. Over here.
I think that people
Thank you, bro.
in entertainment, especially because you go for something the way that you do, you put in your head to be a success at this business. We are people of extremes, and we can become addicted to not only in pursuit of something, but the high that it gives you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you get that applause from a great joke. You get the applause from how cute and sexy you are. You get applause from, a little side, a little something out of the side of your mouth, and people don't catch it immediately.
Oh, so you threw me off right there, a little side. You can't use words like that. That's a loaded word right there. You get a high off something for a little side.
But that could be something. So I'm just thinking that, especially folks like us, that we're in this business, and that adulation is something that we seek on a regular basis because it does give you that euphoria.
Well,
do you get this personal with George Wallace?
Oh, yes, I do. Because this is a question that I wanted for you, and I'm going to save it. But we asked him and Michael Collier a question the other day, and George teared up. George absolutely teared up. So let's talk about that at another time.
That wouldn't have died? It was dripping off his head.
Chapter 3 of Bitch Dad, George Wallace.
Oh, you're gonna get it. Oh, you're gonna get it.
Bro.
It's time for what you need to know. For those of you who do not subscribe to our newsletter, it is what you
You're
need to know.
Fool. If you don't subscribe to Sybil's newsletter, you a damn fool.
You're a goddamn fool.
You're a damn fool. And
damn...
your mama's ashamed of you.
And your daddy don't know you.
Walk around ignorant all damn day.
Maybe that's me, Sybil. Yeah,
I was going to say, that got personal right there.
I know.
It is absolutely free. Please go to SybilWilkes.com and sign up for it. And we do stories that are really applicable to the African-American community. We try to super serve, as Tom Joyner taught us to do many years ago. All right, Coy, you're up first, our social justice writer. And you are talking about this situation in Louisville, Kentucky, between a white teacher, a black high school student, and it just went totally wrong. And the video, but I need you to describe this and tell people what happened, the background on this story.
So the story begins with a 16-year-old named Jameer Strain that is a student at Marion C. Moore School in Louisville, Kentucky. He and a teacher get in an argument over his mask. The teacher is trying to say, hey, this is really a bandana. It's a mask. He even said, I've worn this to his class before. I don't understand why, he's arguing with me. This is chemistry teacher. So in the midst of the argument, the teacher yells out to him. The teacher's an older white man. Yells out to him, you're just going to be another black boy shot. And young Jameer hits him in the face and a fight ensues. So there's a student taking video. There's quite a few students taking video.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if the one that I saw is the white girl whose face all of a sudden at the very end of the video.
Right. Couldn't believe her eyes.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Everybody was in shock. The videos all start with the teacher pinning young Jameer to the ground. And a couple of students, young boys, are jumping in and trying to pry the teacher off of him, saying, get off of him. The teacher's asking for security. There is no security. You just need to get off of him. Mm-hmm. So by the time another teacher comes in, and now it's quite a few students and a couple of teachers trying to separate the two, Jameer still has managed to hit the teacher several times.
But he's grabbing and trying to hit out of the teacher, and the teacher still has this boy's hair.
Grabs him by the hair. He has locks. Grabs him by the hair and pretty much refuses to let go. That is the end of the video. So what happens here is now this teacher has been reassigned. No. So he's still in the school, just not in the classroom.
Not in the school,
not in the classroom. The young man has been suspended for 10 days and he's facing assault charges. Now, here's the kicker.
Right.
And this is why I feel like the teacher knew exactly what he was doing on purpose.
He pushed all his buttons.
He pushed his buttons on purpose. This young man suffered from a gunshot wound the previous year in a drive-by shooting. And he's also lost friends to shootings since the last year. Louisville has suffered a lot going on with children and gun violence under the age of 18. Their number has already surpassed the number this year than their total for last year. So, his mom was saying, I understand that triggered his PTSD. And this is just something that we see a lot of times where you see, I don't want to say all white people do this, but I've seen this in a lot of the videos that I've talked about in our newsletter, where they use this tactic to win an argument or situation by triggering your buttons and trying to get a larger than life reaction so they can go and play the victim. And this is something that we have to watch for. We have to watch for this because it is a trap. This teacher knew exactly what he was doing. He used the weight of his authority to say, oh gosh, now look at what's going on here. Since I couldn't get anybody's side for me now, I can use my authority as a teacher to further punish you and to prove a point. Which was stupid, all over a mask.
it's not only stupid, it's dangerous.
Very.
And it's
very
detrimental
dangerous.
to the health and well-being of our young people, of our kids. And so thanks for bringing that story and follow up on that, because I'm really curious as far as this family getting representation to make sure that this teacher does not stay in this school or any school, because if it is proven, as you have alleged, that he was well aware of what he was doing, he should be removed from not only that classroom but all.
Right.
And if he has to be retired, that's fine. If he has to be fired without pay, that's even better. I know how teachers depend upon their pensions, but if you have to do away with that in order to make a point, I'm not mad at that either for what he has done to this child.
Right. So far, they've only had some protests, and students were able to get their administrator to approve an on-campus walkout where they were joined by protesters on the following day. So
he had to get a school-approved walkout.
A school-approved walkout on campus.
It just sounds so
you
bizarre.
You go as far as the parking lot. That's it.
Yeah. Wow. That's really sad. That's really sad. I don't know if you all have had that experience.
It sounds like it was more than a mask.
Yeah.
It sounded like he had a personal problem with him.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Yeah. And it started over the argument.
Even if the teacher didn't know about, even if the boy had not been shot before or any of that stuff, what he said to that student.
What kind of statement was that?
Just saying another black boy shot. That disqualifies you from teaching
from any kind of curriculum you're doing right now. Any kind of curriculum you get.
Yeah, and I don't care if it is balancing equations. That's got nothing to do, unless you're talking about you not spreading the coronavirus in a chemistry class. That's got nothing to do with it. And so that's just ridiculous. It's just a ridiculous notion. And if that's how it started, I'm sorry that that's the way that it ended.
Here's another kicker. Found out by looking through comments on Twitter, internet investigators found out that this man also has a history of assaults and is affiliated with a group that is like pro-Confederate.
And he's teaching.
Yes.
And he's teaching.
Wow.
And he's teaching.
He's just gonna be another white boy punch in the face.
And that is something else for the attorney representing this boy and his family will use and absolutely use in their defense of this child. And he is a child. He's a 16-year-old boy. He's a child.
And why is he teaching? So you know what he's teaching.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's my off hours. That's my off school hours. That doesn't count anymore. No. Coronavirus update. We know that the Supreme Court ruled late last week that the CDC had no standing in extending the federal moratorium on evictions. And so this has opened up all of the opportunities for landlords to and owners of properties to get their money and to get people out of the homes that they've been leasing during the coronavirus, during the pandemic. And the House members, the progressive House members like Cori Bush of St. Louis and Ayanna Pressley of Boston are pushing for the White House and Democrats to make that move by the White House to continue the moratorium to that date, if not beyond the October 3rd date that the CDC extended it once it had fallen. So just asking people to hold on and also to go to those websites still that are available and helping people stay in line to get the money so that you can pay and stay in your homes. Because this, what are you doing? What are you doing in terms of this?
What is our country doing for the sake of humanity? What are we?
Say it again, Huggy, and say it louder. Absolutely.
The fuck are we doing? This shit is crazy.
I think I read something with Willie Moore said the other day in his Instagram, and he's like, there's something about asking God, why me? But instead of asking, what is the lesson I'm going to get out of this? And I'm wondering, what is the lesson that we are going to get individually and collectively as a people? We're going to get out of this. Because we're not past it. Obviously, we're back in the middle, if not even greater and more dangerous circumstances. But what is the lesson that we're going to take from this?
Flat out.
I'll take
What's
that.
It take, Chris?
That's Willie Moore's thing. Flat out.
Flat out. Right. So here we are talking about the coronavirus and the effects of this. But also, we're talking about people losing their homes. And there is a study that was published in the Associated Press. And it was a group called The Markup. And they did years-long study of how the lending institutions are still racially biased against Black people and other people of color. They're saying the algorithm that they use, that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have been using for 15, 20 years is outdated. Everything, if you can look at a white person applying for a mortgage and you look at a Black person or a brown person applying for a mortgage, and they can be absolutely at the same level on every frame of the application except for the color. And they will be 100 times less likely to get that mortgage than a white person.
Here we go with redlining again.
Well, not only talking about location, Coy, but we're talking about even the type of job. If you have two people, a white person and a Black person, saying that they are contractors, and the boss is saying, there's no way that they're going to lose their job. They're good and they deserve to get this mortgage. If the white person applies and puts that in, their chances go up that much. And for Black people who are contractors, it's just the type of job, it goes down like that. It's location, Coy, when you're talking about redlining. In my hometown of Chicago, it's 150 times more the value of property in a Black neighborhood for a Black person trying to get some sort of property as opposed to a white person in a suburban area outside of Chicago. So all of these things are playing a part in this and just showing in terms of this investigation, as I said, in Chicago, Black applicants were 150% more likely to be denied by financial institutions than white applicants, and 200 times more likely to reject Latino applicants.
Dang.
America has really mastered the illusion of racial progress.
Oh, yeah.
Just because we can see more Black people now than we ever had before. We can watch this show right here on many different forms, Facebook or YouTube. We can go on social media. We see Black people all day long doing things. So it really gives the impression, wow, we're doing a lot. But in the areas of people's lives where it matters, like buying a home, not just being entertained, buying a home or being treated fairly by the police.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That equality still doesn't exist for us.
No.
But we just let it go by because, like I said, Black people are so accessible to each other these days. You can run your own Black business on Instagram, and that's great. That's great. But when you make your money from your business on Instagram, they still won't let you get the home that you want.
It's unbelievable. Just a few Saturdays ago, marked the 58th anniversary of the March on Washington. And this was, Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech that became famous on that date. He had the speech before, but this was before the largest audience, obviously. And he said his dream was that his 4 little Black children would be judged on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And 58 years later, we're still getting reports like this, right. Whether it's police brutality, whether, like you said, all of the great moments of your life. And where you want to step up and be an adult and have the same advantages that others have it. And we're still not there.
Right.
Definitely not.
For us, it remains a dream for us.
It's
But
a
for
dream.
white people, it's an actual reality. It's the American reality.
Yeah.
They can get a home. They can get a home wherever they want. They can get those loans. You know, they get treated fairly when the police pull them over. That's an American reality for us.
Yeah.
We just dream of these things.
In addition to that being an American reality, I've had conversations with a person that was an Italian immigrant. And they said, my parents came from nothing. We came to this country and we had to build ourselves as well. And I'm like, that has nothing compared to a black person.
We built the country and we
built
still can't
right. And then when we still have nothing, as an American citizen, we can still end up with nothing. They'll still look at you.
Fight for the country.
And fight for the country.
We do all that. They'll still look at you and still see a white person, and they would rather help you, someone that is not from here, not against anybody that comes here and makes a life. That's great. But we're still fighting to make a life, and we didn't ask to be here. You chose to be here.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here, I do want to share with you, and you know what time it is, boys.
Hey, Yogi, it's time for Yogi's Juice.
It's time for Yogi's Juice.
Yeah, that's right, boo-boo.
It's Yogi's Juice.
Today, the things that you're worried about will happen or it won't. Worry does not change anything, so stop worrying. When I read that, I was saying, so stop worrying and be happy. I wanted a little, of the song in there, but there's just stuff we cannot kill ourselves over worrying about it. It is or it isn't. I wanted to talk entertainment with you, Huggy. Just one thing, and you and I agree on this video that is now out, and it's about Mr. Soul. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh man, Chris, have you seen it? Oh, it's a wonderful documentary about this guy. He was like the first late night
black late
night.
I
know the documentary. I've not seen it yet. I know it.
Mr. Soul. What is his name? So I forget.
It's
the name.
Hayslip.
Was it Eddie?
I
don't know his first. Mr. Hayslip.
But
the guy's from the Washington D.C. area, and he was phenomenal, man. He had everything. It was a one-stop shop, Sybil.
Yeah, he started out as a producer,
right?
And they tried other people who were in the business, and it just didn't work out.
Didn't work out, and he's like, "Hey, let me do it," and he did it, Sybil.
Yeah,
it's a great documentary, man. He's talking to a young Minister Farrakhan.
Right.
Arsenio Hall was 15 years old. He had Nikki Giovanni. I mean,
you name it. Whatever they did, and it wasn't just arts. It was political. It was all of these.
It was a one-stop shop, bro.
It was.
And you can see a whole lot of people got their blueprint from that show.
Yep. It was a really great,
unbelievable documentary.
Right.
I think you can find it online on PBS.
Yeah.
I think you can.
PBS.org. Yeah.
And I forget. I think I saw it on HBO Max.
HBO Max.
But you're right, Chris. You can go to pbs.org because it hasn't been around that long. But I highly recommend it along with Huggy, because I think we hadn't talked about it, but it was just really interesting. A really good piece of cinema. So we thank you.
It really was.
Nice.
Hey, Sybil, you've got something great going on at 8 o'clock, don't you?
Thank you so much, Chris.
What's going on, Sybil? What you got going on?
You really are the best, you guys. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will be having a wonderful opportunity to talk to Denny's, and along with Tom Joyner is returning, and Terrence J, also both of them alums of HBCUs, and talking about the wonderful initiatives that Denny's has incorporated into their business model over the years, as well as talking to, as you can see, some of the big muckety mucks.
Hey, I know April. We know April Drummond. She's been on a cruise, right?
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. John Miller and John Dillon as well. And we also have Gail Sharp. And so we ask you to stick around. It's going to be on our Facebook and YouTube live channels. And so we will take a break here. And you guys, if you will stay here, we will, if you guys will hold on for a second, and then we will excuse ourselves and we will be going on, and we will starting in just about 14 minutes.
We're getting Denny's gift card, son.
Breakfast, here I come.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.